What is going, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on this channel that has been dormant for who knows how long. Alright, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, okay? I mean, besides the music and the gameplay from the Twitch streams. But I I haven't been uploading a whole lot because, for one, I've just been very busy, and two, I finally graduated. Congrats. I mean, I've just been really busy and I haven't had much time, but now I do have time, so I'm very happy about that. And today, as you can tell by the title, yes, we're going to be going over the ranking of the Gorillaz albums. Now, it's not like cover art or anything like that. No, like personally how I feel about like the songs and like the theme of the album and stuff like that, you know? I just won't be doing the G sides or the D sides. I'll be mainly doing the main albums, I guess. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on with what I feel is not my favorite album. Yeah. Yep, we have Leica Come Home. Now, this album isn't bad, okay? It's not bad, it's just not something I would listen to often. I mean, it's pretty much like lore-wise, it's like these space monkeys that came in, stole the original self-titled Gorillaz album, and like made it in their own to find like some type of like space monkey, something like that. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but pretty much they're just like remixes of all the self-titled songs, like the Gorillaz songs from the self-titled album. That's pretty much it, and it can get boring. It really can get boring. But if you're into it, you know, more power to you. But it can get kind of boring. Anyway, moving on to our next album, we have The Fall. Now, The Fall, a lot of people like to say it is like one of the most underrated albums that Gorillaz has ever made. It is. It is. I have to agree with it. But the reason why it's this low is because I feel that just some of the songs could have done so much more. Like, I get it. Damien Albarn did it with an iPad, okay? He did it with an iPad. He made this album with a freaking iPad, man. I do my music with an iPad. Times have changed, okay? And, excuse me. And, like the song that I played right now, it's called Amarillo, based on Amarillo, Texas. It's just, it is a good album. It really is a good album. It's not bad, okay? It's just, some songs could just be better, you know? But, I mean, for what he did with an iPad, a simple iPad back then when it probably first ever came out, that is impressive, man. That is impressive. That's why I'm giving it the praise that it deserves. Just not the spot that it, I guess, wants? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. It's good, but it's not something that I listen to like every single day. You know, like there are a couple of songs that I will listen to. Like, example, Amarillo is a really good one. But other than that, that's it. I just nitpick the songs I like, if that makes sense. Anyway, moving on to our next album. I call her. She kidding on the sun and then she order. Imagine me. Alright, so I actually do remember this album coming out. Humans, I actually do remember this album coming out like around 2016, 2015, 2017. Around one of those 3 years. But definitely probably 2016, 2017. It was pretty much the idea of the album was, you know, a hypothetical world if Trump won the election or whatnot, which he did, which is kind of funny. But the whole point of the album is like to throw like a, from what I know, it's like to throw a party to end all parties or something like that. Like, it's a party album, but it's not super low. But the album itself, like, it has some really good songs. You know, it has like really good songs. Like an example, the song that I just played right now. You know, She's My Caller. That one's a good one. You have Andromeda. That's another good one. I'm thinking about another one. Oh, what's it called? Strobe Light. That's another good one. Like this album goes the same for the previous album that I had mentioned, where I would nitpick, like the fall, how I said I would nitpick. But with this album in particular, I nitpick a little bit of more songs, if that makes sense. Like there are some really really good songs. It's just like I would probably only listen to those songs. Like I recently just got into the song "She's My Caller" because it came up on a YouTube playlist and it happened to pop up and I'm like, dang, this song's pretty cool. But for the longest time, Andromeda was like my not my go to song, but a really good one. And Busted in Blue, that one's a really good one too. She's My Caller is another good one. Um, like there are some good songs, if you if you like those type of like sounds, I guess, or songs. Um, this is probably right up your alley, but it is not a bad album. Like I said, I just pick more songs, like a couple of more songs compared to like the fall. Anyway, moving on to our next album, we have
The truth was auto-tuned, and his sadness are consumed.
that's right, the most recent Gorillaz album, Cracker Island. Now, Cracker Island, the reason why, excuse me, the reason why I put it above Humans is because these songs are really good. Like, if you've never heard of like the song Silent Running or even the piano version, man, it is so good. And then Cracker Island, that one's another good one too. Like these are just like really good songs. Oil's another pretty good one. The Tormenta with Bad Bunny is pretty decent. It's not too bad. Skinny Ape is another good one. Like there are some really cool songs like I guess like to drive. Like if you're driving and you listen to them, you're like, dang, this is actually pretty good. The reason why it's not any higher is because like not not all of them are good, but the ones that like I've mentioned are good. Like I would honestly, I've heard New Gold a couple of times. That one's decent. It's good enough, but man, like my go tos are Silent Running, Cracker Island, and I mean, I mean, honestly for me it's just those two because they're just so good. But Skinny Ape is another good one. Those would be like my top three. And then it'd be Oil, and then New Gold, and then Tormenta. But it's not a bad album. It's really, really good. If you haven't heard it, I would recommend it. If you want like something like recent Gorillaz, that's probably like as recent as it's gonna get. Like I really want to see what they do for the next album. Speaking of next album, we have
Waiting on the planet to turn to me. Dark side.
okay, this album, it's really like how can I describe it? Like it's a very like it's a roller coaster of emotions. All right, it's a roller coaster of emotions. The Now is a big roller coaster of emotions. When I first heard the song Humility, I was like, dang, this song's really good. And then I listened to a song like Fireflies or Sokai or 1%, and it's like, dang, like what the heck? Like when I first heard those songs, I was just like bewildered. I was like, wow, like wow, like I was just so surprised on how good they sounded. And like the way they, I guess, not like touched me, but the way I resonated with the songs, like they were just like real good. And I'm like, this is probably one of the best albums I've ever heard. But there are better Gorillaz albums, I'm not gonna lie. But for the songs, same thing goes with Cracker Island. This one, they're just like really good, like really good. Like if you just pay attention to like the sounds of the songs and the lyrics, and in a way you kind of like try to relate to it, like you will feel something from it. Like you'll be like, wow, like you will feel something from it. Anyway, moving on to our next album, we have Oh, Song Machine. Oh my dear God, I remember when this album came out. I remember I was in credit recovery class watching the very first ever episode of this album, and I still remember to this day. Oh my dear God, it it's like what 4 years old already. The album's already like about to be 4 years old. It came out towards the height of the pandemic. It was crazy. I remember the first song, "Momentary Bliss." I remember rewatching it like 10 times the day it came out. It was such a good opening. And then you have Aries, and then you have the Lost Chord, and then you have the Valley of the Pagans, and then you have the one with Elton John. I forgot what it was called. But it is just like it's just such a good album. Like I like it. Like I don't know why. Like maybe because out of the pandemic, everybody's indoors. You got nothing to do, and it was kind of also around the time when I was slowly getting into like making music again, because I kind of stopped to focus on school, to graduate and stuff. But around 2020, 2021, like I focused a little bit more on making my music because of this album. And it's just such a good album. Like I'm not gonna lie, like it is really good. It is a really good album. And I mean it's not like I owe all my heart and praise to this album, but like it in a way kind of gave me a little push and like, hey, even though it's the pandemic, I can still make music. And so I just like this album is a really good album, not gonna lie. Like I don't know how much more I can praise it. It's such a good album. Anyway, moving on to the next album, we have Blossom in your soul when you know your heart is lost. Okay, now this one was actually a hard one to put, okay? Now this is like literally like top 3 albums. Okay, this one's hard to put because I wanted to put Demon Days, but then wanted to put Plastic Beach, but then wanted to put the self-titled Gorillaz album, and I just couldn't think about it. But the reason why I put Plastic Beach at number 3 is because it's such a good album, okay? It is a really, really good album. You have songs like Plastic Beach, Stylo. You have songs like On Melancholy Hill, Empire Ants, To Binge. They are such good songs. They're like really, really good songs. Like I even learned how to play On Melancholy Hill on the guitar. I learned how to play it on the guitar. It's such a good album. It really, really is, excuse me. And the reason why it's at number 3 is because it's not that people praise it a lot, and it's a really good album in its own right. But how can I say it? It's in a way like I have somewhat of a hard time resonating with this album. I mean, it came out in like 2011. I was like 9 years old at the time. Like 2010, 2011, I was like 8, 9 years old. So I didn't really get the full concept of the grasp of this album until me and my uncle were playing like COD Zombies, and like he played the song Plastic Beach and Stylo, and I got more into it. But that's literally why it's at number 3, because I feel it's that type of album where it's like you should have been there type of album. It's like you should have been there to experience it. And I hate to say it, I wasn't there to experience it, but by God, these songs are amazing. Like, wow, they are just like really good, like just super good, super good. Wow. Anyway, moving on to our next album, we have. Are we the last living souls? Are we the last to get away? Now, I remember listening to Demon Days when me and my uncle used to play Super Smash Bros. On his Nintendo 64. And then we moved on to the Windows computer laptop where he downloaded a ROM hack to play Super Smash Bros. From the 64. He would always blast Demon Days, okay? Feel Good Inc., El Mayana, Old Green World, Last Living Souls, Fire Coming Out of a Monkey's Head. Like, such good songs. I remember telling him, like, dude, like, why was I always scared of these characters? He's like, dude, because you're just a kid. But like I was like 12, 13, like 11, 12, 13 when we were like playing like the game on the laptop on the computer and just playing these songs. It's so good, man. It's just so good. It just, man, this album, I know why people like this album. But personally for me it is number 2, but it might come as a shock for everybody, but my number 1 album from Gorillaz has to be
Feeling glad I got sunshine in a bag. I'm useless, but not for long. The future.
That's right, my number 1 album is the self-titled album Gorillaz. Oh my dear God. Man, this album is, in my mind and my eyes, it is amazing. You have songs like Rehash, M1A1, Soundcheck Gravity, Man Research Clapper. You have Tomorrow Comes Today, Clint Eastwood, of course. And then you have Slow Country. And then you have Punk. And then, oh my dear God, man, I can just go on and on. 19-2000. I just love these songs. Like, they're just like so good. And it, like, of course it surprised me, that people usually put this like at number 3 or number 4. But this album is just like, this album is like what I want to make. Like, I want to make an album like this. Like, I'm not saying I'm going to copy and paste, but I want to make an album like this because like, I love it, man. Like, it's just such a great album. It's so good. And if you ever have a chance, listen to the full album. All the way from Rehash to the last song, M1A1. It is such a good album. Like, really, like, just, wow. Like, just, like, it blows my mind, man. It really blows my mind that this came out 2 years or a year before I was born. This came out, 2001? I was born 2002. It came out a year before I was born. It is such a good album, man. Like, wow. Like, I love this album, man. I really love this album. Like, I've been listening to this album for the past year now. I also forgot to mention Rock the House is a really good one. Really good. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my ranking of these Gorillaz albums. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. I've been really wanting to make this album ranking, I guess, but I just never got into like listening to all the albums until like recently. And like, I didn't think I would really enjoy the first ever self-titled album. Now I see why it did so good when it first came out, and then why Demon Days did better. But it's just, they're just such good songs, man. They're really good. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, please subscribe, please leave your comments down below. Turn on all notifications to be notified of any future videos. And other than that, that's it.